Kate.
Okay, so the next speaker for this afternoon is someone whose team we met during the period when we were trying to honor our commitment to the African continent and to lifting up the presence of countries from Africa here and the delegates from Africa. And during that process, we met the team of Siggy Propstel, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Siemens Africa. Siggy's been at Siemens for a long time, since 1985, but he's worked in Turkey, South Africa, Korea, the UK and Germany, so he's a proper global citizen. And what he's been doing for the last 2 years is he manages global sustainability for Siemens. And he is also the boss of one of the projects that you see displayed in the foyer, which is the Sustainable Cities Project. So he is the leader on that. Now, leading the global sustainability division of Siemens, he has also delivered for Siemens their most profitable division. So that's interesting. David always says that for businesses to do well, they've got to do good. So there's Siggy actually doing it, most profitable division. And what's the guy running? He's running global sustainability. So give a good welcome to Siggy Propstel from Siemens.
Hello. Thank you. Yeah, good day, everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to be with you. It's a pleasure, an honor, and also something which I want to bring back also to my organization is that we together will make it. My name is Siggy. Forget about the rest. Even the Germans battle with this. And I have the great pleasure to have you now with me after lunch. After lunch is always the best spot, while at least there are no riots then. So for me, it's a good word to bring you up on the sustainability, to bring you up what can we change together? We as a team, we as a nation, and we as the world. So it's very difficult for a lot of people to understand how to change things. But it always starts with a nucleus. And this small nucleus, this is us, this is we as the team. Sustainability, and it's very wisely phrased there. Our sustainability future will be decided in cities. You will see later on there why it is. And it's also this concept that we have to find nucleus, that we have to find a spot where we really can change things. You can see there's a lot of crises around. And what we could do, we could look away, we could put our head into the sand, or I think what the rightest way is, we could tackle the stuff. We don't see it as a crisis. We see it as challenges where we have to go through, where we have to solve something. We have the financial crisis, you heard of this. We have the political crisis, we have environmental crises around the world, we have humanitarian crisis. But all these crises, in principle, they only show that we have a bigger crisis. And this bigger crisis is sustainability crisis. We, in our world now, we have trouble to make sure that future generations have the same opportunities than we had and our forefathers had. And I think it's our duty, my generation, your generation, that we make sure that the world looks different in the years to come. Climate change, one of the topics. It's a fact now. I think it's not disputed anyone in the world with maybe a few exceptions. But it's a fact. The 2% goal to reach, which I think is in general accepted as the minimum standard we have to make, it's a tremendous challenge. We have to change our world, we have to change our efficiency by a factor of 15. 2, 3, 4, 5 is already tremendously, but 15 times. But we will make it. I will show you why and how. Resource scarcity. It's a frightening figure. We're using at the moment 1.5 worlds, Earth. So we're extracting, burning, using more than we have. Just on the mathematical physics, someday it will be an end. If you would calculate, we had to stop now, maybe a few days ago already, to stop all our activities if we want to keep the Earth as it is. So it is a huge challenge for us to keep it going. Population growth. There are estimates that in the year 2050, there will be 9 billion plus people on Earth, from 6 billion now. As you know, we already struggle to feed, to educate, to give them a decent living now. 3 billion people more. This is challenges we have. Urbanization, and this gives now the, let me say, the context to the further slides. Urbanization is something which is happening all over the world now. The cities are growing in a faster pace than ever before. Cities are the main driver at the moment, and there will be in the future, for our burden, for our challenge, whatever you want to call it, for our environment, for our sustainability. 75% of the world energy consumption are done in cities. 80% of CO2 emissions or pollution are done in city, and 60% of the water resources are used in cities. So cities and the mega cities in the future, just to give you a figure, or also one figure out of my beloved Africa and of South Africa. 15 years ago, Joburg had roughly 2 million inhabitants. Now we're guessing there are 8 million, or maybe more even. So the big cities are growing in an unprecedented way. And we have to make sure that these cities are staying livable, manageable, and not destroying our environment for the future generations. The world struggle for sustainability will be won or lost in the cities. And I think this is something where we have to build up. And my organization, they made a move in that direction, that we founded an own sector, infrastructure in cities, which look decided and focused on cities. While cities, as you might know, are a quite complex environment. Of course, on top you have a Lord Mayor or a mayor, but then you have a structure below. And this structure below, to manage the structure below, is extremely difficult. And I think even the word mayor or Lord Mayor is wrong. In the future, the city will have a city CEO. So this organization has to be managed like a company. So the city CEO, this is in the past where, remember, that was the old Lord Mayor or mayor. So the city challenges are also part of my life. So I came, thanks to my organization, around a little bit in the world, and I have to say, I learned to appreciate cities, and I also learned that there is cities where there is improvement needed. And you will see that there will be, or is no perfect city on earth. There is no city which is perfect on every aspect. But there are some cities where the living conditions are already reached a certain level, and there are some cities where there is still a challenge to move them up. I started in Munich, and there they had have a good public health system, and they have good water quality. There the challenge is not to bring it up to a standard. There the challenge is to keep it there. And to keep on top is as difficult as to bring it up. That's why I brought this example in. I moved then to Turkey, stayed 5 years in Istanbul. There the big surprise for me was energy supply. I wasn't used that 1, 2, 3 times a day there are energy outage for a few hours. I was not used that the circumstances you had to live then in there. So I thought there must be something done better. And when I was there, it was in the year 1990, 94. They have changed a lot already now in the right direction. Then I moved on to Pretoria. Their education was a major challenge. So my kids then, or the first kid, went into school then there. And then I saw, now it's very selected. It's very selected for a few people. And it's not the normal way for a country that only a handful gets the right education to move forward. So one of my first things already was then there, what can we do to support the country? What can we do to get education and skills? While this goes hand in hand, and sometimes it's a little bit misinterpreted. Education is, you need a basic, but skills is what you get later on. And skills is also something what you need to get. Not everyone can be a doctor or an architect or whatever. You need skilled artisans, you need skilled people that you get the country forward. So the next move, I moved to South Korea. South Korea, education, very good. Also security, extremely well there. If you want to get robbed, you have no chance to get it. If you're 3 o'clock somewhere in the night in the darkest part of Seoul, somehow you're safe. Slightly different to my other experience I had in some of my cities. But air quality in the stage when I was there was on the rather lower end. Seoul transportation goes hand in hand. There were the 24-hour traffic jam. Seoul was really packed with cars. So the only solution for them, and again, they did a lot of things already now. The solution was there to get intelligent traffic management systems in, and of course also to get the air quality by reducing the industry CO2 in the area of Seoul, and they did it. So when I was there, you could see the air. In the evening, when the lanterns were on the street, so the air was moving from right to left or left to right, and you know this was called air in front of you. Now when I was there a year ago, total different situation. The message I want to create here is, yes, there are challenges out, but there is also a solution out. And the solution by a lot of companies and also countries learn from each other. And I think this is the great event what I have with you here. There is so many different countries here. Everyone is in a different stage of experience. So this interaction, I think this is the most value we can get out of here. Then I moved to UK. A lot of good things. If you ever was on the M25 on the highway around there, I could also bring transport and traffic in there. But the major thing for me in the UK was the buildings. Buildings, single glass, some gap in the doors. It's nice for wind in the summer, but the gap is also in winter there. So inside, outside temperature is quite the same. But also there, new legislation, new rules brought all that things up. And you don't have to destroy the olds. This is also a message. You don't have to destroy, let me say, the castles and old nice houses. You have to upgrade them. You have to bring them to a new standard. And again, it's possible. So with my journey ending back at the moment, again in South Africa, and I must say I love Africa. This is one of the statements. I love Africa. I'm outside white, inside black, and that's the right thing. You can only see the outside, that's the problem. But I really love Africa while it's a huge opportunity. It's a huge opportunity for the world. While Africa is in a stage where things going in the right direction, not everywhere and not always. But this is human, this is the world. But the general direction is right. And if I look at potential opportunities for companies as we are, I think in Africa, they're the hugest opportunities we have at the moment. Back to the cities. If you look now at all that problems they have, then there's the city managers. The city managers, of course, they have to look after governance, competitiveness of the city, environment, quality of life. All these things which I experience in my travel around the world, all these things are solvable, and they are solvable now. What I hear a lot of times, yeah, we will solve them in the future when we have this and this technology available and this and this and this. This is all nonsense. Most of the challenges are solvable now. We just have to do it. And a lot of things, I really have no idea why the people are not doing it. Maybe it's laziness, not educated enough, sticking to old rules, or whatever. A lot of environmental things are simply already now visible, and they are good for the environment, but also good for the pocket. Like, a good example is always, let me say, lighting. While lighting at the moment goes from a, let me say, incandescent lamp now to LED lamp, and the next step is now organic LED, and there are future more to come. So at the moment we have not an evolution in lighting, we have really a revolution in lighting. So this revolution in lighting, if we would replace all the old incandescent lamps by the new one, already a big saving on CO2 can be done. It's starting, it's getting on now. I have a figure from Joburg. Joburg, unbelievable figure, has 1.5 million lighting spots in traffic lights. So this is the traffic light itself and the surrounding lightings. A normal incandescent lamp there has 60, 70 watt. You can do this with 10 watt, in the future with 5 watt, just by replacing them. So the factor is 60 to 10 or 60 to 5. And we started now. Also Joburg, I can assure you, they started replacing the old incandescent with now the LED lighting. In Zurich, I saw it here. It's at the next step is at home, so it's a good news forward. What I can say now is that people love competitions. I learned this in my life now. And one of these nice competitions is the Green City Index. The Green City Index shows how developed is your town for a certain criteria. There are 30 criteria. It's CO2, it's transportation, and so on, the normal stuff around green and sustainability. So they did it with the economist, already now in North America, Canada. They did it in Latin America. Asian is done. Europe is done. And they made a ranking out of it. So they made a ranking either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 50 or whatever, or they made a ranking above standard or below standard. And the next time what is coming out now is Africa. I can't announce who will be the winner, but the winner will be out of Africa. I think it gives them the first step to make something. And I can assure you, I got a few calls now already from some of the mayors and asked. The one was very clever. Yeah, he or she said, can I start already celebrating? Are we on the front there? And unfortunately, the same celebration is always good, but it doesn't mean that you won there. So this thing is good. It will bring our drive for sustainability, the sustainability drive in the green corner forward. What I deliberately left out here now is sustainability, of course, is more than green. Sustainability is also you look after your people, you look after the human beings, and you also make sure that the economic part, your profits, are in the right direction. To have this balance out of people, environment, and profit, so the triple P, to have this balanced, I think this is the way forward for our world, for our organizations. What I can say here is the difference is you. I can assure you that our organization do the utmost. 400,000+ people are committed to sustainability. Of course, as in every good family, some are more, some are less. But the more are growing day by day in our organization. As I said, we committed with an own sector now to look after the cities, to look after the specific need for them. But we only can do it as a team, as a world team of sustainable ambassadors. And this is what you are. What I hope is when you go back, you say, yes, it makes sense. to be sustainable. Yes, it makes sense in that respect, in this direction, to be green. And green is a huge opportunity, not a distractor, and not a thing which is bringing the economy, the society in the wrong direction. Green and sustainability is the thing, and in my eyes, the only drive we have at the moment to make a better world and to give our kids, to give you also, a bright future. That's my word from my side. Thank you very much, and I appreciate to be with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ziggy. And as you see me coming down, you can already get up, but we only have, and this is to be fair from the beginning, we only have time for 4 questions, remarks within the 40-second chance. And this lady was fast, and she's going to start straight away. And Ziggy, if I may ask you, if you give an answer, please also, no, stay up on stage. Please also be brief. So, you take it away.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Rainey Bridges from Atlanta, Georgia, United States. You mentioned there are huge opportunities for growth in Africa. What is your company doing to help develop the talent and preparation for that at the primary education levels all the way up to the higher education levels?
Yes. Yeah, I can say, and this is where I'm really proud. We started, not now, we started already many years ago to, let's call it adapting schools, supporting schools. Supporting schools on every level, with the exception of universities at the moment. So what we're doing at the moment is we give them the education, what we know as knowledge, but we also give them the hardware and the software. We have schools around Joburg, Tembisa, and what I'm very proud now is we have founded now, or we're in the process to build a new high school in Mvezo, and you can see outside. This is together with Nelson Mandela, in a really area where you normally would not build a school, in an area where it's really challenging. You have to build the roads first, and it's a huge investment. And this is our commitment to this. And of course, we do it for society, but we also do it for us.
Great. The next lady.
Ms. Davina, I'm from India. And coming from a developing country where we probably need billions of dollars of investment to even dream to be sustainable. My question is, how much investment do you think is required world over, and where is this investment going to come from?
I think to give an exact figure, I think it's more or less impossible. It's a lot. But I think the investment will come out of activities, out of business activities. I had a chat last week with the World Bank and with some other financiers, and they're really willing to finance, especially now, developing countries. And developing countries together with maybe a backing of governments to take the risk lower and to get the right loan, then I would say we're on the right track for that. It will happen, don't worry.
Kate wants to get in with the gentleman. Yes, fast, yes.
So I answer only now with yes and no.
What you said about sustainability in regard to the environment and society and the economy sounds great, but I'm wondering, how do you go about that practically? For instance, you said you're passionate about Africa. So for instance, Laos. I mean, that's an extreme case. How would you go about making that city sustainable?
Okay, very quick answer.
Please.
Every city, you have to start somewhere. And this is my mission. You have to start somewhere, and we are on track to do it. And it's not only Lagos, it's some other cities. You have to start a foundation, and from that foundation, you go upwards. Do not start. That's the message.
Get going.
Hi, I'm Sunita from Nepal, but I'm currently studying in South Korea. As you mentioned about the South Korea, I would like to comment some about the South Korea. As you said that South Korea has the best education system, but I think we should not forget about the suicide rate of young people in South Korea because of they cannot afford the education. And also, a few months ago, we have the student demonstration in Seoul by the university students because they cannot afford the education. So how can we say that that's the best education? I think we need to redefine or consider how we can say the best education.
Thank you very much. Brief answer.
Very brief answer. There's no best spot ever in the world, and she is excellent, and she's absolutely right. that there is also improvement there. What I meant is the quality, what you have at least a chance to get. The quality, what you at least can somehow get. While in a lot of parts of the world, even you have not a chance to do it. You have not a chance to get it. But she is absolutely right. There have to be something. If the suicide rate is increasing like in South Korea at the top, the topic is also hot there. So I get a lot of warnings now around there. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.